Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I will say this is one of my favorite board games. We are on chess.com, and I feel like everyone else understands. Like, yeah, you guys see me as gaming and everything like that, all that fun stuff. I'm a heavy thinker when it comes to games with strategy. 'Cause I love these types of games. Like, it's fun. Always is. Um, so we'll play a few rounds. We'll check the feedback because sometimes the feedback says, "Hey, this was a terrible move. Hey, this was a great move." I think there's really no bad moves. There are bad moves, don't get me wrong, but there's really, if it ends in your victory, there's no bad moves. And that's what I think. Some people might say otherwise. Um, let's see. There we go. I gotta get my my side monitor up and running so I can chat with you guys easily. There we go. Oh, there's another person streaming this game. There we go. All right. Now, let's get to the game. So we have this person streaming right now. Um, so is my buddy online? No. So this is my profile. This is all my fun stuff. I've played a lot. So far I'm on a 2-day streak win. I've lost a few games. I do play this constantly. I thought, why not make a video of this? Because this game's fun. I love it. I really do. Um, I'll play with a few people. And oh, I leveled up. Nice. Start. Okay. I'm gonna make a first strong move. Then I'll strengthen the pawn. Oh, they're threatening my horse. Okay. Okay. This is one game that is always like my favorite, one of my favorites. Um, they left their horse open to an attack. They even left their that pawn in an open attack. So then I collect that pawn by moving my horse from a3. Never mind. Um, I'm gonna be excited because I'm gonna move that, which then they move their queen out of danger. All right. Um, so there is castling. You can castle in chess, which is you moving your king over, which then places this right over here, which then you're able to castle. Um, it's a smart move, never a great move, because if your king is like wide open and your castle is wide open, it can end up into a full checkmate. Like I could do this. I'll do it, which would lead to a castle, moving two pieces at once. Um, they did the same move. Not so good because the pawn isn't open, but it's there, which I'm gonna throw in that queen, which they can take one of my pawns with the horse, which would be a free pawn, but then that'd be a free horse. Then they can move their queen to take that pawn, and then I could take their queen with my queen. Uh, because pretty much the game first starts out is who can take whose queen first. And that was a terrible play right there. Um, it wasn't okay. I don't hate it, but they don't have a they don't have a counter to my queen. Okay, okay. To move the queen down one. They're trying to take my queen. That's what I see. So they have two options. They take my knight or they take my queen. I'll let them take my knight. Unless they don't. There they go. So then they can check, but their queen wouldn't be guarded, so I could take their queen. Um, so far, this is a good play. Um, hmm, they're thinking. They didn't see the move. Okay. Um, which I'm gonna move one pawn up from e3 to e4. Um, you can check how we move. This is me, and that's the opponent. which he moved his from h7 to h6. Not bad move, but also not good. I don't feel like. Oh, wait, actually, that was a good move. Okay, I'm gonna retreat from that, moving it my pawn to, not pawn, but bishop to f4. Um, they can easily snatch a pawn. That's not bad. Um, but I could also, no, no. Oh, uh, whoops. Yep, the queen. Um, this is still a winnable game. They fucked that up. So right now I still have two bishops, two castles. So I'm still in the possession of being able to do a checkmate, which I'm gonna move that one right there. That was good. That was good. I didn't see that move. I kind of messed that up. Okay. Um, I can move that one down by one, which then would stop me from taking that pawn. Um, which wouldn't be a bad move. Really wouldn't. Uh, they messed that up. They messed that up poorly. Okay. Which leaves me with an easy pawn take. Um, I think they're gonna try going for a check. Yep, they went for a check, which gives them this one. Um, which then again, so far this is not a bad play. Um, unless they move this pawn down by one, then they could easily still take that. Which they didn't. So check that. Messed up again. It's another check. I think I can checkmate right here. Um, check. I'm gonna do something which I'm not gonna take that because then they can move that right there. But I can at least take two possible pieces right there while they take one. Which I'm taking, which then they're gonna try taking that piece unless they, yep, which I take. There's now where I'm in the lead. So they're about to gain another piece soon. Um, because they have the castle guarding this floor. Um, which is good. Uh, gonna check. They're gonna try retrieving their queen back. That's their move. I know their move. Uh, which once they retrieve their queen, there's that. I'm gonna take that. They're gonna check, which ain't bad either. You check again, take another pawn, and I knew their plan. They're gonna try taking my castle, which I'm not gonna let. So I'm gonna move this one down by 2. Could have moved it down by 1. That was not a bad play. They're in. They failed, which gives me back my queen, where I can end with a checkmate. Now, I take their queen again, which now they don't have a queen. Um, which they're trying to take a checkmate again, which failed. Um, okay. They can't take checkmate again. Um, they could try taking a pawn, which I'm hoping that's what their plan is, which is not their plan. And I just checked. They could run and defeat, but they choose not to. Um, could take that pawn. Check. Which I'm going to turn this into a horse, which then they could take, but I know they're not. Um, I can't take that one. Okay. Um, best move I can choose is this. Then I take that down, which would put in a check. Then they fail to realize I can block their pawn, which then they can move their castle by 1 and take a chance. Actually, they can't. Never mind. I put them in check. Um, gives me a free pawn. Never mind. Okay. Um, so they can only move 2 pieces right now, which could mend or break, which checked again. Which was a great move by them. But I can take that pawn with my king. And yeah, not a bad play from them, which makes my horse run. Well, my knight. Um, took a pawn. Okay. I can do another checkmate right here. But I'm gonna threaten. I have 59 seconds, so I have to think fast. Check. Which they're gonna move castle over. That was okay. That was actually a pretty good play. I'll do another check. So that puts the knight. Play, which then they can take my horse, but end up getting checked again. Which I'm checking again. What I'm trying to do is, yes. So I can win by a draw. They're not able to come near my castle, my knight, my king at all because I just queened, which check. I move it down a couple. Ooh, I'm at 4 seconds. Okay. Check. 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 Draw. So that one was a little intense there. Um, so let's go to the game review, which will lead.
You had an advantage, but the game ended peacefully. Let's look at how you could have converted a win.
Sure.
Grabbing space in the center. Your dark squared bishop, their bishop comes into play, supporting the center.
Yep.
You are now able to attack the knight with a pawn. This kicks a knight. Your opponent moves their knight to escape your attack. Good thinking. They defend connected rooks.
Like
That
they
was
move.
a clear recapture. They develop a new piece. This move, a smart setup. They defended their pawn, which was under attack. You captured that free rook.
Okay, cool.
The knight is left hanging, letting you grab it immediately. That knight was yours for the taking.
Yep.
Their pawn was defended, but now it's hanging.
So that's a terrible move right there. Because then they could take my queen.
A straightforward recapture.
Then I could do that.
You captured back.
But at the same time, that's how that would have played. I could have, but I chose to play safely. Instead of doing this, I went back by one.
Their better move was to offer an equal trade of pieces.
Not wrong.
Your move puts your queen on an unsafe square.
It did, which
They
couldn't.
captured your vulnerable queen. Your opponent moved too quickly and left their queen hanging.
They did, and I
This
took.
move leads to losing a bishop.
Yep.
You had an advantage, but now the game is close to equal.
Yep.
Capturing your hanging bishop. Nice find. You found the only move in this position. You bring in another attacker and turn up the pressure on the pawn. You were keeping the balance, but that move makes your position worse. This is the only move that works. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. You've just allowed your pawn to be taken without a fight.
Yep.
You get a chance to win a bishop by adding pressure. This makes a passed pawn. That was a critical position with only one good move. But you moved quickly. This is the only good move. Their passed pawn moves closer to promotion, becoming more dangerous. This move leads to losing a pawn. They are threatening to force eventual checkmate.
Yep.
Your opponent still has an edge, but they are no longer winning. You permitted the opponent to win a pawn through an eventual fork. You get a chance to promote a pawn to a queen.
Yep.
This promotes a pawn to a queen.
That was a good move there.
This move left their queen hanging.
Yes, which I did.
That was a free queen.
Which then they were able to take my queen again without me realizing.
You get a chance to checkmate the king.
Yeah, gave me the ability.
You permitted the opponent to win a knight through a fork. You missed an opportunity. They missed a chance to win a knight through a fork.
I could have checkmated the whole entire game. I could have. I could have literally done this.
Your better option was to defend a knight that was under attack.
But they could have done that, which then
they had an opportunity.
Lead that.
That was the only move.
Which still would have left me bad. Like,
they missed a chance to win a knight through a fork.
Like that, I understand. Let's go back.
You permitted the opponent to win a knight through a fork. You missed an opportunity. Black will be winning a knight with that fork. You escaped the check from the rook. Black will be winning a knight with that. You permitted the opponent to win a knight through a fork. You missed an opportunity to checkmate the king.
So, I could have done that. Or I could have done this, which then they could have done that. Could have done this, which then I could.
That rook is unprotected. You allowed the opponent to win material through a fork.
But still,
you had an
they could have gotten another queen like
that. They
took
your queen for free.
And they took a queen to receive a queen. Like,
you permitted the opponent to win a knight through a fork. You missed an opportunity to checkmate the king.
Like, they could have done
Black
this.
will be winning a knight with that fork.
And I did that. Oh. Then, yeah. I do that. They take that.
Capturing your hanging knight.
I no longer have a checkmate.
You permitted they missed a chance to win a knight through a fork.
Like so. Which I do that.
Your better option
they
was
still do that.
They missed a chance to win a knight through a fork. This seems like a mistake to me.
Which that was.
This move gives you the opportunity to win their rook. The game is close to even, but you lost your winning advantage. Your opponent capitalized on a misstep, and now they're This is the only move that works. They move their better move was to evade the check from the only move, and you found it.
Yep. So
they missed the right idea here. Makes your life much easier. Your opponent made a mistake, but you missed the chance to punish them. They had a better way to evade the check from the. You had a checkmate. They missed a better way to evade the check from the opposing queen. Their king steps away from the
Which,
check by your queen.
to be honest, once they got to the corner, I could have still beat them, but failed. So let's start a new game, and we're going against Nightmare. Aussie. Cool. I love Aussies. Is that an Australian flag? Oh, New Zealand. My bad. Hmm. Okay, they took the center, which wasn't bad. Put threat on my queen, my pawn, my bishop. They continue to put pressure on my bishop. Okay, so I'm not taking a free pawn. I'm not taking the free pawn. So they're threatening my bishop, which is fine. Mm. Right now, their pawn placement is really good. I cannot attack or defend. I can't attack. I'm right now defending. This is my gameplay at the moment of defending. Um, okay, they move their knight, which I can put threat on the knight, which then puts future gameplay in position. That wasn't bad. That was actually a really good move right there. But I can continue threatening without really no plan. That's a bad move right there. Right there. Okay, that was a good move. They ran, which then puts my that into play. So far, I haven't really moved anything. I've only moved one half, which is my plan. Like that's my plan starting out. I'm that was not that great, but I'll take it. I traded two pieces, got one extra. That was, I think they're trying, which so far ain't working. I'm gonna move that horse, which puts two pawns in danger, but also leaves me wide open for an attack, which I saw. Um, hmm, I'm gonna move my knight there. Thing's probably gonna say, "Oh, you missed the chance to take a free pawn." I'm not taking a free pawn if my knight's getting taken. That would be a bad move right there. What I'm trying to do is get a check, which isn't my, which right now I can't do because one piece is in the way, and that being in the way, actually I have a plan. I'm gonna forfeit a pawn, then I receive a pawn. play their queen. Okay. I'm going to take a pawn, which then I take that pawn. Which then gives them two plays, which I'm gonna. Okay. I gotta change my plan because I can't do a checkmate. I gotta give them a chance to threaten two of my pieces, which they didn't. Which I'll move my bishop to g2. Which I could see a possible checkmate for them. Because one, they haven't moved either castle nor their queen, which I'm gonna put more pressure on their queen in the next move by moving this one up, which now puts a lot more pressure on that queen, which they can take or they can retreat. It's their call. But right now, their queen is in danger of being taken. They played the safe move, which then I'm going to move my castle up, which then gives them no chance to take what they were wanting to take. They did another good move, which wasn't really bad. That was really good. Which I'm going to move this pawn there. I take. Now I can't do a castle, which then I move here. They can take a pawn, check. I'm going to move here. They took my queen somehow, and I don't know when. Took my queen, but I'm going to check. They're going to move, which then I might lose. I kind of messed this up. That was a check. They're going to take my knight, which that's not good. I could do another check with that move, which isn't a bad one. Then I move this right here. They're probably not going to see it. Hopefully, they don't. But they saw another move that was better and which took another one of my. Which I move up by one. Puts my king in check. I need to find a strategy to take their queen. That was a check there. One, castle cannot go. King cannot go anywhere near the queen, which sucks. To move their queen down one more, that gives me the possible chance of taking their queen. But they can also take that one. I'm gonna play that one. I lost. I had zero chance of Winning, that was fine. I can at least do a rematch, which was declined. Okay. New game. Um, okay, they're going to try taking over the center. Uh, they kind of messed that up. Which, bingo, equal trade. Um, they did that move. Um, right now it's a fair game. I'm doing the two-headed horse play. I'm gonna do that. They're threatening the queen. I could take, but then they could take my knight, my queen, by using their knight. Not a bad play. Cannot disagree. That was actually a really good play. Um, that was also a good play right there. Where they could take my queen as well, right there. But I'm gonna pressure two pieces of theirs soon. Um, I could check. I see a possible check, but they take my knight. I could threaten a check. Um, that was a good play right there. Um, but I see a good play right here. Yeah, which wasn't a bad play either for them. I'm gonna do that. Let me move my queen all the way over here. The castle. Okay, that was good. That was a good play right there. Can't do that play. Can't do a check, but I can threaten their queen. That one isn't bad. They can move their queen over one to check, but it won't be a checkmate. I move my bishop right there. They took my queen, but I take their queen. So that was an even trade. Um, took a piece. Actually, yeah, they did. It was one of my knights. So then they put me in check. I can move my pawn up one, then protects it. They check, which isn't bad right there. Um, I'll move that one right there. Possible they can take, but they choose not to, which leaves which I could castle either side. Actually, I can't castle either side. Why? Why can't I do this castle? Oh, probably because of that. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. Um, I could take one, but lose my knight for good, or I move all the way up threaten one of their castles, but lose my bishop. That seems like a better play. Which they didn't take. Okay. Which now puts me into a disadvantage. Because I was hoping to do a check, but multiple moves cannot condone. Okay. Which I'm gonna try taking that now. Which then ended my knight from with being taken. Okay. I'm gonna let them move their pawn more towards me. Okay. Do that. I haven't moved my castles yet, so I still have a lot of plays with my castle. But their horse is still on the board. So I can lose a piece, but gain one of their pieces as well. Or which then makes it an even game now. Well, actually, no, I'm in the lead by 2 because I got two more of their pawns. Right now my defense is good. Well, my attack is good. My defense isn't that great. They're trying to think of the next play. Best plays right here is me moving this up by 1 and then scaring that bishop. Or I move this up by 1, scare that bishop. Either way, they're going to retreat one of their bishops, which then gives me more of the advantage point. Because if they move their bishop right here, that would be a safe play. Okay. Which now I'm attacking their bishop. Bishop moved. Okay. So moved up, which wasn't a bad play either. Um, None of these are bad plays. Like, this person knows a thing or two. Which I could do bishop for bishop. Or possibly just take that pawn. Not bad play right there. They took a piece, which I didn't notice. Um, oh, and then they checked me. The worst part, when you're in check, you cannot castle. Learn that illegal move. Uh, Moved a bishop over. I don't see a move that they could do to win my, which I'm going to move that to terrify their bishop to make them run. I don't see a piece they could earn. So I threaten, but then I move. They can still run because they checked me. But then I can also threaten their knight. That. But I still can't do anything. So that'd be a problem. They could move their knight one more to the left, or they could move it to the right, which would be another check, which I can't do anything. Which, good play. But I'm moving my knight back, my king back. So now this go either way. Where they can take a pawn, which then I take their king, their castle, having a chance to can't do a checkmate at all. So, or possible because one, I'm not one of the best chess players, but they messed up. But I still can't take their castle because of this pawn. I don't know what they're threatening at the moment. They're not threatening anything, actually. They ran. Okay. I'm going to move my pawn up too, which now threatens two, just one. I'm going to do a castle or a pawn, then a pawn, my king, then ends that. Next off would be possibly scaring their other castle. Which won't do anything for me. I'd be losing a pawn. While they lose a castle, they'd have two pawns. I'd have one pawn and a castle where I could still fight the bishops. We did a good move by running, which then I can put pressure on a bishop, and hopefully this can lead to a checkmate. So that leads to a check, which I flee. They move one pawn down, which they can move a bishop down, but I can take with a pawn. Or they run, which that wouldn't be a bad idea either. Like right now we can all be playing safety, or we all play dangerous. But now checked wasn't a bad play, but worse since for them because I can take, which then they resigned. This would have ended up in a checkmate, and they knew that. Now it could have kept playing, but okay. So now I'm playing Mad Fit, which I'm going to take center, strengthen up the center. They do the same. I'm hoping they don't do a mirror technique. Please don't do mirror. Okay, thank good. I'm gonna mirror them a little bit. Um, Not really great technique doing mirror because once you mirror someone for too long, it can end in check to checkmate, which is not what I'm planning. Uh, okay, they moved their knight to strengthen up their pawn, which isn't a bad idea either. Two-headed horse, which that was a bad move right there. But I can threaten either way still. Um, which failed to see. So I'm gonna go back this way, which then takes my knight out of the attack that could have happened. And then I'm gonna move this pawn up by 2. Never mind, they put pressure on my bishop. Okay. I'm not mad. I'm gonna have to move my bishop back to by 1. Uh, Now I could have taken a horse. I could have taken a knight. I could have. Or continue playing it safe. I'm gonna put pressure on that bishop right there. So they could run the bishop, which they did. Now I'm gonna do the same with the knight. Pressure the knight. Have them move the knight as well. Which then leads me into control of the game a little bit, like they did. Now I could move my bishop up by 1. They could take my bishop, but then I still have their knight in kind of terror. Now I move my pawn up 1 more, which puts both in terror. They put their queen there to take my knight because I'm gonna move my knight. I'm gonna take piece for piece, which won't hurt me. It will, but it won't. But okay, good play on them. Threatens my knight, makes me move back. Back to defending instead of attacking. Not bad play, really good. Um, right now my other knight is though still open-handed and still free roamed. Um, Not bad play because there was like but then I can move my horse there, which then I have these spots to attack. That was a good play. Now I have to retreat again. You can attack with your pawns, which is dangerous, like is one of the safest moves that any chess player can play. Your pawns are more good to have as attacks than defending. Your pawns play the game. Your pawns don't play, it sets the board. Your pawns set the board while you counter or do attack. So they're probably heavily thinking, I have an idea, which I'm going to go forward with if they don't move their king at all, which could possibly end in a checkmate. Possibly. Okay. I'm going to move my knight here. So I'm going to move my pawn here, which then would lead to a check, which they can check. I take pawn, they take pawn. Or they move their queen, which I still do. They take pawn, I take queen, which either way is not a bad move for me. They can't move their queen. They could attack, choose not to. Not bad. Okay. So only a few moves I see, but then puts my thing in attack's way. Either way, I'm not gonna move any of my pieces. My pieces are all safe still. My main pieces are all safe. I could move that over, but then I could have been taken. Which then I don't have, which I could move my queen up, which then would have made them run, but I still wouldn't have a move. Because then I'm down one bishop while they're also down one bishop. Well, I had more play. But I still don't want to take their knight because their queen is still in play. And could still end with me losing. Now this is the fun part where it's now a waiting game of seeing what they do. I can see a good few moves, but none of them are, or they're losing connection. Well, no, they're taking their time. Holy wow. Uh, they resigned. Okay. I don't know if that was them disconnecting or that, but okay. They don't power to the middle, which I'm gonna center. Make my side strong. Now they power to the center, which now they have the ability to take a pawn. I don't mind. But I'm a number bishop like they did. Gave an easy check, but I'm my bishop there. They could take my bishop, which I could do bishop for bishop. I don't mind. They will, if they're smart. Um, Now, there was a smarter move, which I should have taken, which could move my pawn up just by one. Now, I could do that, which then scares the bishop off. Which then I now take full advantage of the board, which I'm now having advantage of the board because they're running, which isn't bad. If you have the board ability, they castled, which not bad move, not a bad move at all. But I'm gonna scare their knight. The knight's probably gonna move right here, which isn't bad play there. And or they can move their thing all the way back, which okay. I see their play. I move my knight. Right now, I still have control over the board because almost all my pieces are out. I messed up. Okay. That was a fluke on me. They saw it. They took it. Now I could go here, which then I'd be safe. Two of their pawns won it. Now, easily checkmate by taking one of their pawns, doing a check. Not checkmating, just check. Um, I feel like I want to threaten check, which wouldn't be a bad idea. But then they can still take my knight, which would still be a no-no for me. I don't want my knight taken just yet. Now, what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna do a pawn. That was a good move, but wasn't one of the best moves. What's their plan on that? I don't know yet. But I'm setting the board to defend, but also start an attack. Where is their queen going? Now, I could take a pawn, and then they take a pawn, and I then chain my knight, threatening the queen. Now that would be one of the best moves. So I take knight, pawn. They see that. They take. Ooh, I didn't see that. But I can threaten. Oh, knight. So I threaten the knight. They retreat, or they don't move the knight. They move the knight, which then leads me still to continue threat. They can take a pawn, taking that. I don't know what they're doing with the queen. I don't. I'm curious what their play is. If they're trying to check with their queen, because if they try checkmating with the queen now, they don't know how to play this game. Uh, which I'm curious if they're saying anything. They're not. Okay. Um, like right now in this game, I'm ranked pretty high. So that wasn't one of the best plays, but still trying to figure out where their queen's going. Gonna take, which doesn't give me anything really, except threatening two knight. Okay. Uh, they let in with a check. I'm gonna bishop, because that's the best move I can do right now. They threaten again with their bishop, which I can just move up by one. Not a big deal. That's still big plays really fast. They threaten knight, which isn't bad play. But I move bishop to counter, which then if they try to take the bishop, I take their queen. Um, I don't mind sacrificing if I can take their queen away. Um, hmm, not bad move, not bad move right there. Now they could take. I'm giving them a chance to take a piece, but still lose their queen. Which, my opinion, ain't a bad move. They still choose not to take my trap. They see my trap. They don't go for it. Which one means they're not done. So I'm gonna go on that attack. They can't take a pawn. Well, they took a pawn, which checks me again. I can't move except up. Possible trying to checkmate? Possible? They check, but it's not fully a checkmate. One of my pieces can take. I take. Check. But still. Okay, I see. I see. I'm gonna move up. They're gonna take this, but I can attack with my queen and take their queen. Or they take my castle. Okay. Now I'm my knight. But then they could take my knight, or they take my bishop. That also was a good move. So I'm gonna take my castle out of pocket to stop them from taking that. and threaten their bishop. They check, but actually all good plays still. Okay. Because they could take my knight, but I can take their queen with my queen. Or they can take my bishop. They're trying to take away almost all my pieces, which one, not bad play. Okay, they choose not to, which I could threaten the bishop again because they can't take my queen unless they were waiting for me to move my queen, which then, or they take my horse again. Okay, not a bad play. Can't hate. Really no good moves. I can move my queen back down, give them the ability to take one of my castles, or I threaten the queen with my castle. But they're still able to take one of my. I don't know where that one's going, but I'm gonna set the game. Which we'll say, setting the game is really hard when it comes to things like this. I could move my castle here, which then stops any attack. Why can I not attack the queen? Why am I not able to attack the queen? Oh, I see. So they went for a check, but failed. I think they were leading to a checkmate. How am I checked? I can't. Where was I checked at? Oh, I see. I can take. What can I take? Oh, they're forcing my queen. That was really good play on their end. But I don't know. Could have taken one of my castles. They could have. I'm gonna throw in the queen. They're gonna take the. They could take the castle, or they could. Okay. Or they could go for a check, which would fail. So low key, this guy's actually pretty good. I thought I had a good play. But at the end of the day, they bested me a little bit. I'm going to threaten the queen. They could take, or they could run. Doing another check, but I'll still take. Or they do a check like that, which then makes me have to run. Retreat again. They haven't moved that bishop, which sucks. Really does. Check again. That castle in danger of being taken. That'd be a checkmate. They messed up. They screwed up. Now I can take. What can I take? Confused. They played me like a fiddle. That was really bad. That was really bad. um, yeah, they checkmated me. Um, I saw. I did see. Which I do one more game and then I'm gonna end it here. Um, they went straight for the middle, which I'll do the same. We're strengthening up that pawn, which isn't bad. I hate doing a mirror, but I'm mirroring. See the mirror, but not fully mirroring because they're gonna try taking. They're gonna threaten check. Could. Ooh. Oh, they're gonna try checkmating automatically. Okay, I see the ruse. Could work. I didn't see that. I'm gonna play that, which then threatens that bishop over there. So they did play a good move. That was good. I can't hate that one, but I'm still threatening that bishop with my knight. I saw the checkmate automatically. They were trying to end it in 3 moves. Not bad idea, but didn't work. So they checked, which I'm gonna do this. Threaten their bishop. I'm really not trying to move that many pieces. I'm really not trying to. Okay. So they checked, but I move up to their safety. They can move the bishop, which then sends their bishop into safety. Failed. I take. Which makes it a fair game, even game now. Um, I could go for a check. Or I threaten the queen, which we could take, and I threaten the queen again. Either way, I I could still fail, but they plan to retreat. That was actually a pretty good move on my hand, and uh, I move. Oh, they put me on check, which I move pawn up by one, so I don't lose a queen. I could have automatically lost a queen if I let go, but I chose not to let go. And right now they moved a pawn. Wasn't a bad move. I could threaten a little bit because they can't do automatic checkmate anymore. They can't. Well, if they got their knight in play, then yeah, it can become. They're gonna take my castle. Yep. I take their bishop. They take that. Where I'm check. Where oh, I can't move that. I'll move my queen to attack. They castle. I can't. But I can move that. Not a terrible move. I still am in control of the board. Now I can't move that pawn. But I can move this one. They move the castle. I move my horse to check. Which then they attacked, which then I can retreat. So it saves my bishop. Now put me in another check, which not bad play. Which now they have me on the defensive end. Once you start defending, you need to find a way to start attacking again. Now, I'm still good. Um, they took away a bishop that was really good, valuable to me, sadly. Um, but they still haven't moved two pieces still. So, which is their knight and their other castle. All the other ones they've moved. I don't know if they're going to do a queen for a queen. chose not to, which I'm gonna take it. The reason why they're not moving their castle like I'm not moving mine is just in case a pawn becomes something higher, which they just checked. I move. They'll check again. But I could lose my queen. That was a terrible. This was a bad move. But they didn't realize that. So I can move again. They didn't catch it. That could have been automatic checkmate by them just moving one piece over. Well, it wouldn't have been a checkmate because I would have took their castle, but they moved their castle, so that's pretty good. Once they now they've moved all their pieces. I'm gonna keep my piece still steady, but I'm threatening that castle. Hands down, I'm threatening that castle. And they can't take it. They can't take it. They're not able to. Now they could. There it is. Which I could continue threatening this castle, but I have other plans, and it has to deal with getting another pawn. Check. Not a bad play there. I can still move my king out of the way. Now, could they checkmate me? Probably. Probably. They took my queen. Okay. They could have checkmate me. But they chose to take my queen out of play. And they're taking pretty much right now. I'm trapped. I'm low-key trapped. I can't move really any of my pieces. I can threaten. But this is going to end up, I believe, could possibly be checkmate. Which right here could move a pawn down. Which, or they move the queen. Okay. Which ended in checkmate. Uh, so far those weren't bad games. No, thank you. So I won two, but I lost two. My buddy, I don't believe is online at the moment. So pretty much, I thought I'd play a game of chess. Chess is one of the one board games I actually love because you have to think hard on that. It's a game of strategy and sometimes you don't win. There's a lot of times you do not win. You lose a lot of times, but hey, you learn, you lose, you win, you gain. But anyways, this is the end of this video. I'm gonna end the stream now. If you guys did like me playing board games like this, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell because I would love to play more chess on this video as in this channel as well. Next stream I will definitely be playing some more Hollow Knight Silky Storm because I've not played that in a while and I feel like I should. Uh, And I'm sorry that you came in at the last second, buddy. But hope you guys all enjoyed. I enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. But further ado, good. Bye.